You guys got ants in your garden, ants in your house, ants everywhere. I'm not talking about your mom's sister, your dad's sister. I'm not talking about your favorite Aunt Bev or anybody like that. Just ants, those little pesky little black things that are running around. Sometimes they might be red, I guess, but they're running around your garden. They're chewing on stuff. You want a way to get rid of those? I found an effective, pretty natural way of getting rid of those. Hey everybody, Doug the Crock Gardener here. I have been battling ants over the last year and a half. And I got to be honest with you. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I think it's because of my inworm composting bins. I think that's attracted a lot more ants to the garden. As I'm watching this right now, I'm seeing one crawl right on my camera here. So yeah, to say that I have an ant problem, it is a serious problem in my garden right now. They eat on my fruit. Anytime I pick something up off the ground, if there's ants hiding under it, next thing you know, I got them all crawling all over me. And it is just a big time pest. So I did a little research on the internet, and I did find a natural solution for us to get rid of some of these ants. And pretty much it takes 3 ingredients. And what you want to do is you want to try to find a container, something that the ants can get in, but you don't have a whole lot of other things get into it. And you want to try to avoid letting your dog or a neighbor's cat or somebody get into this, because I think it'll make them sick as well. So you want to kind of avoid that. I'm trying to avoid having my pollinators that I want trying to get into this, so I'm trying not to put too many open containers with this stuff in it. But what I do is I simply put a little sugar in there, put a little borax in there. Borax is kind of a natural, I don't know if it's synthetic or natural or not, but it works. From what I read up on, it is a natural. Man, I just picked that up and I got ants over me. But it is something found in nature, so it's not something that's going to be harmful to your soil if you have a bunch of it that gets carried by the ants out into the soil. Matter of fact, borax has got a trace mineral in it called boron that's good for the soil, and I was a little deficient in that this year, so maybe I might have to sprinkle some out around my garden this next winter. But put some, maybe about 2 parts worth of sugar in there to 1 part of borax, or even a lesser solution than that, and you can fill that guy up with some water, make it into a liquid solution. I probably shouldn't pick that up, but make it into a liquid solution, and those ants will be attracted to that solution. Matter of fact, even if you made it into a dry solution, the ants are supposed to be able, I shouldn't say a dry solution, but a mix of between a wet and a dry solution, something that's the ants still can carry off. They'll take the borax and the sugar combination with them down into their nests or into their colony, and it'll help kill off the colonies. I put a couple of these traps out probably within an hour. I got ants just circling the dish or circling the trap. So it's worked wonders for me. So why are ants bad? One, they like to eat much of my fruit. They are everywhere whenever I'm picking my strawberries. They really like my strawberries. They also like to farm aphids. I don't know if you've ever seen aphids. They'll suck out the juices on a leaf and essentially try to kill the plant. The ants they love that juice, they love that sweetness, and what they'll do is they'll take those aphids and they'll place them on various spots on different leaves, and they essentially use them as a farming instrument. And they will basically use the aphids to farm their nutrients. And then they just carry off the nutrients as the aphids produce that liquid. So ants are not a good thing in the garden. They are pesky, they like to bite. Down south, I know Dale and those guys talk about their fire ants all the time. I'm glad we don't have those here, but just something that's just mostly a pest in the garden. Let's go ahead and we'll go inside and we'll put the liquid together, and I'll show you how I'm making my traps. All right, everybody. Got some borax, 100% borax. I got 2 pounds. This stuff's gonna last me a while. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna put this in to our dish. I'm gonna use this dish. Typically, I like to use these, but for showing you guys, I'm just gonna use this dish. So we'll put a little borax in there. a little borax. And then just get your favorite sugar. Mix that in there as well. I don't think the ratios matter that much. And then we add some water to this. Thing is, you don't have to add too much water, which I did put a lot of water in this one. But we'll carry it out there. So that's essentially it. Just make sure it's mixed up well, and you're off to the races. Now, whenever I go put the traps down, I'm usually trying to find a line of ants. I'll put it down in that line of ants. And if I put that right next to where the ants are lined up, you'll see them. They'll just all of a sudden migrate into the solution. And they will sit there, and it's like a drug for them. They just sit there and they drink. A lot of them will die in the solution. A lot of them will take that and carry it back to their colony, and then they'll slowly die off. So you'll see great results if you put this along the trail. If you know where the colony's at, put it where the colony's at. I'd suggest not putting it next to your prized tomato that's going to come fruiting, because that's going to attract ants to it a little bit, and you have potential of maybe them finding the tomato instead of the solution, or once the solution's done, they'll find that solution. So I've been putting these little bait stations all over the garden, and it's worked out phenomenal for me. Now, there are a couple things you want to watch out for. Like I said earlier, you want to make sure that you got these bait stations in a container that your neighbor's cat, your neighbor's dog, your dog is not going to get into it. If you have any pets, you don't want any pets to get in there. You also don't want people like Kid Croc going in there and trying to guzzle down a sugary borax that's going to make them sick. So you want to have them avoid doing that. Also, I try to keep this away from the pollinators. These plastic bottles work out great. I think the pollinators aren't going to get in there. They're kind of hidden inside the garden, in the areas where all the leaves cover it up, so the flying pollinators aren't going to get in there and drink this stuff and essentially keel over. Another caution here that I'm going to warn you to is when you're pouring that in there, that borax is kind of a dust. I imagine you don't want to breathe that in. So if you're really worried about that, definitely wear a mask. That's going to help you out as well. All in all, I really hope that you guys try this solution. It's really worked for me in the garden. If you got a lot of ants, I mean, even in the house the other day next to my composter, my indoor composter, where I keep all my kitchen scraps, I had a line of ants there. I probably took care of that thing within 3-4 hours. All those ants were gone. They were either dead or they were gone. Not a living ant there for the next couple days. So it is a great solution, and I hope you guys find this helpful. If you guys want to have more tips and tricks like this, click that subscribe button, everybody. Click that like button. Leave me a comment down below if this has worked. Cheers. God bless.